Hey, today I'm going to recap the horror mystery movie called Five Nights at Freddy's. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. A frightened security guard frantically removes the vent cover, desperately seeking an escape route from an imminent threat. Meanwhile, the surveillance cameras display different areas within Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, a family entertainment center. The guard's efforts to evade capture are in vain, as he is eventually apprehended and rendered unconscious. Upon waking, he discovers himself restrained in a chair. Slowly, a menacing bear-shaped mask adorned with sharp mechanical components is lowered onto his face, triggering his horrified screams. Mike, a security guard working at a mall, is standing in a lunch line when he witnesses a man picking up a young girl and walking away with her. Acting on his instincts, Mike chases down the man and engages in a physical confrontation, mistakenly believing the man to be a threat. It later becomes clear that the man was, in fact, the girl's father, and as a result of his actions, Mike loses his job. In search of new employment opportunities, Mike seeks guidance from a career counselor. The counselor suggests a solitary position as a nighttime security guard at Freddy's, a place that has remained closed since the 1980s. The owner of Freddy's retains one guard to prevent vandalism during the night. The counselor believes this role would suit Mike well, given that he wouldn't need to interact with many people. However, Mike declines the offer, citing his unavailability for night shifts. Upon returning home, Mike finds an eviction notice posted on his apartment door. Upon entering, he exchanges greetings with the babysitter, Max. He also warmly acknowledges his younger sister, Abby, who is engrossed in her artwork. Mike is the sole caretaker for Abby. That evening, Mike goes to sleep beneath a poster illustrating a Nebraska forest and listens to a cassette tape playing nature sounds. In Mike's dream, he finds himself alongside his parents and a younger sibling named Garrett, enjoying a camping trip in the Nebraska woods. However, during their playful activities, Mike loses sight of his brother, and when he eventually locates Garrett, he witnesses a harrowing scene, Garrett being taken away by a stranger in a car. In this distressing dream, Mike feels utterly powerless to prevent the abduction. The following day, Mike participates in a meeting with his Aunt Jane and Jane's attorney. Jane's objective is to gain custody of Abby, presumably to secure government assistance for her upbringing. The caseworker initially supports Mike's position, recognizing that he is prominently featured in all the drawings Abby creates. However, the caseworker advises Mike that in order to retain custody, he must find employment. Left with little alternative, Mike contacts the career counselor and reluctantly agrees to take the night security position at Freddy's. Mike entrusts Abby's care to Max and heads to the shuttered pizzeria. While at Freddy's, Mike stumbles upon an old cassette tape that portrays Freddy's as a cheerful family destination. His attention is jolted when he discovers a small balloon boy statue concealed within a locker. Exhausted, he eventually dozes off, experiencing another haunting dream about Garrett's abduction. This time, an assembly of kids donned in animal and pirate costumes appears in his dream. Perplexed, Mike inquires about their identity, but the children hastily flee. Startled, Mike awakens and makes his way back home. In a diner, Jane is in a meeting with Max and Max's brother, Jeff. It comes to light that Jane has hired Max to investigate Mike's belongings while taking care of Abby, with the aim of uncovering any damaging evidence that Jane could use in the custody dispute. Max informs Jane that Mike appears to have nothing to hide, except for the fact that he sleeps an unusual amount of time. Following this revelation, Jeff and Jane devise a scheme to vandalize the pizzeria, with the intention of getting Mike dismissed from his job once again. During his night shift at Freddy's, Mike brings along the Nebraska poster and a tape of nature sounds in hopes of inducing peaceful sleep. As he re-enters the dream concerning Garrett's abduction, he once more encounters the enigmatic group of children. Despite their attempts to evade him, Mike manages to seize one of them, demanding answers regarding their identity and any information they might possess. In the midst of this interaction, the child uses a pirate hook to scratch Mike's arm, prompting him to wake up abruptly due to a noise at the door. Upon opening the door, Mike discovers Vanessa, a police officer responsible for patrolling the Freddy's area. Vanessa enters and demonstrates a deep familiarity with the establishment, reminiscing about her own childhood visits to the place when it was, in her words, the happiest place on earth. Vanessa observes the scratch on Mike's arm and takes the initiative to bandage it. She proceeds to recount the history of Freddy's, mentioning that the place was closed down following the mysterious disappearance of children in the 1980s. Subsequently, Vanessa accompanies Mike to the entertainment room and activates the power. This action brings to life a group of animatronics, including Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and Mr. Cupcake. The animatronics perform a singing and dancing routine before a sudden power outage occurs. As they exit Freddy's, Vanessa shares a rather unsettling detail with Mike, noting that no security guard has ever managed to endure the challenges of the job for an extended period of time. Following Mike and Vanessa's departure for the day, Max, Jeff, and 2 of their companions break into the establishment. They engage in a spree of theft and vandalism, wreaking havoc on the premises. As the animatronics come to life and start leaving the stage, one of their friends encounters Chica and Mr. Cupcake. In a horrifying turn of events, Chica hurls Mr. Cupcake at him, resulting in a gruesome and fatal attack. Meanwhile, the other friend becomes the target of Bonnie, who relentlessly pursues and ultimately kills him by violently smashing his head against a door. As for Jeff, his fate takes a sinister turn when Mr. Cupcake and Foxy manage to capture him. Max, on the other hand, witnesses a child running through the pizzeria and decides to follow the child into a room where the Freddy animatronic is located. To her astonishment, she hears the child's voice emanating from within the animatronic, prompting Max to approach for a closer look. However, her curiosity takes a sinister twist when Freddy suddenly springs to life and gruesomely severs Max in half. The following day, Vanessa pays a visit to Mike's residence and gets acquainted with Abby. She proceeds to inform Mike about the break-in at Freddy's and alleges that he had left the doors unlocked. Vanessa also hands over a bottle of sleeping pills she discovered in his house and inquires about their purpose. In response, Mike confides in Vanessa, revealing that he still carries the heavy burden of guilt stemming from Garrett's abduction. Following their parents' subsequent passing, he found himself responsible for taking care of Abby. Mike discloses that he has been intentionally attempting to revisit the traumatic events of Garrett's disappearance in his dreams, in the hopes of unearthing any clue that might lead him to the abductor. He explains his method of deliberately falling asleep while gazing at the Nebraska poster and listening to the nature sounds that he encountered at the time of the incident. This unique approach has enabled him to induce these vivid dreams, with the pizzeria being the most potent catalyst for his quest to unlock the mystery. With Max absent, Mike finds himself with no alternative but to take Abby along to Freddy's. After settling Abby in a small pillow fort and tidying up the aftermath of the break-in, Mike experiences another startle from the Balloon Boy statue. Finally, he goes to sleep. Unbeknownst to him, Abby awakens before Mike, and she begins to explore the pizzeria. Within Mike's dreams, he confronts the group of children and inquires if they are the same ones who went missing in the 1980s, to which they confirm their identity. When Mike seeks to know the identity of their abductor, the children gesture toward a drawing of a rabbit etched in the dirt. This revelation startles Mike, but before he can delve further, he is abruptly awakened by his sister's cries. Rushing to Abby's side, Mike discovers her in the company of the animatronics, though to his surprise, they aren't posing any threat. Instead, they are engaging in playful and affectionate interactions with Abby, tickling her. It becomes evident that the animatronics have taken a liking to Abby, and she reciprocates their affection by offering hugs and sharing her artwork with them. During their journey back home, Abby confides in Mike, suggesting that the animatronics are inhabited by the spirits of the children who went missing, and these spectral entities are the driving force behind the animatronics' movements. On the following night, Mike and Abby return to Freddy's to find Vanessa already present. It becomes evident that Vanessa is aware of the animatronics' sentience. The humans and animatronics engage in various games and activities, fostering a sense of camaraderie. As the evening progresses, Mike eventually finds a moment to have a private conversation with Vanessa. She expresses her anger at Mike for bringing Abby to Freddy's, highlighting the potential danger posed by the animatronics. In an effort to illustrate just how hazardous the animatronics can be, she leads Mike to a secluded room. Inside, they encounter the outer animal-shaped shells of the animatronics and the electronic skeletons that are housed within. Vanessa explains that the shells are locked onto the electronic skeletons using a spring mechanism, which, if unintentionally clamped onto a human, could prove to be highly lethal. With a stern tone, Vanessa issues a stern warning to Mike, urging him to cease his quest for Garrett's abductor and emphasizing the absolute necessity of never bringing Abby back to Freddy's. Reluctant to relinquish his job, and the hope of uncovering the truth about Garrett's disappearance, while also ensuring Abby's safety, Mike arranges for Joan to babysit while he heads to work. In his recurring dream, one of the enigmatic children finally consents to speak with Mike. The child confirms their identity, as the same ones who suffered abductions like Garrett, and reveals that they are now the spectral entities inhabiting the animatronics. In an eerie offer, the child proposes to grant Mike blissful dreams where Garrett and his deceased parents are still alive. Their only request in return is the perpetual companionship of playing with Abby. Mike initially agrees to the terms, but subsequently has a change of heart. The children retaliate within the dream, launching an attack on him. Upon awakening, Mike is startled by a sudden assault from Foxy. Meanwhile, Freddy makes an unexpected appearance at Mike's apartment, where he incapacitates or potentially eliminates Jane. He then invites Abby to join him at the pizzeria for a playtime session, to which Abby consents. The duo gets into a taxi, greatly unsettling the driver with their bizarre behavior. Upon regaining consciousness, Mike finds himself securely bound to a chair, thanks to the unexpected appearance of Vanessa. Vanessa proceeds to unveil a chilling revelation, disclosing the existence of a man named William Afton, the creator of Freddy's, who used a yellow bunny suit to carry out abductions and horrendous crimes against children, including Garrett. When the authorities initiated an investigation, he concealed the bodies of some of the children within the animatronic suits. As the truth unfolds, Mike comprehends that William managed to manipulate the children's spirits into believing he was their father. Realizing the imminent peril that Abby is in, Mike implores Vanessa for assistance. With a heavy heart, she expresses her inability to help directly, but provides Mike with valuable information about a covert way to infiltrate Freddy's. She also discloses that the animatronics can be incapacitated using electricity and equips him with a taser to aid in Abby's rescue. Undercover within the confines of Freddy's, Mike stealthily observes as Chica escorts Abby to a secluded chamber. In a bid to intervene and safeguard his sister, Mike employs the taser to incapacitate both Freddy and Bonnie before tracking Chica into the back room. Inside the room, a disconcerting sight unfolds as Chica and Mr. Cupcake attempt to place Abby into a marionette-like animatronic contraption. Acting swiftly, Mike disrupts their efforts and employs the taser once more. The siblings share an emotional embrace, with Mike affirming his unwavering commitment to protecting Abby and never giving up on her. As Mike and Abby make their way toward the exit, the menacing yellow bunny makes a sudden and unexpected appearance, while Foxy relentlessly pursues Abby. Just as it appears that Foxy is on the brink of capturing Abby, Vanessa intervenes and subdues Foxy with the taser. The unexpected turn of events unfolds as Vanessa confronts the yellow rabbit, addressing him as Dad. The rabbit proceeds to unmask himself, revealing his true identity as the career counselor who had previously gone by William Afton, having assumed a new identity after the closure of Freddy's. Vanessa makes a heartfelt plea to her father, William, beseeching him to cease his actions. However, William remains unperturbed and approaches his daughter with a cold determination, ultimately stabbing her. In the midst of this tragic and horrifying event, Mike implores Abby to remind the animatronics of William's true nature. Abby proceeds to create a drawing that vividly depicts William in the yellow bunny suit, committing heinous acts against them. This artistic depiction serves as a catalyst, undoing the corruption that had clouded the animatronics' judgment. In response to this revelation, the animatronics turn on William, launching a ferocious attack. In the ensuing chaos, the spring lock mechanism is inadvertently triggered, leading to William's gruesome impalement. As William writhes in agony, he defiantly warns Mike that he will return, asserting that he always finds a way back. The animatronics subsequently drag William into the back rooms. Mike and Abby manage to carry the wounded Vanessa out of Freddy's. In the following days, it becomes evident that Mike and Abby's relationship has strengthened. They make a visit to the hospital to check on Vanessa, who remains in a coma. Back at home, Abby expresses her remorse for the lonely fate of the ghost children, now that William is no longer hiring security guards to oversee the pizzeria at night. Abby inquires if they might return to Freddy's in the future, and Mike offers a tentative maybe someday. Meanwhile, within the confines of Freddy's, William miraculously survives, albeit ensnared within the confining bunny suit. In a scene that unfolds after the credits, the taxi driver experiences a sudden shock as he glances toward the back seat, only to discover the presence of the Balloon Boy statue seated there. Don't forget to support me with the like and subscribe buttons. Stay tuned for more film recaps.